Hello and welcome from the Bold Penguin Lounge at InsurTech Connect 2021, where we have a very special BPTV live episode for you. We're filming right here in beautiful Las Vegas. I'm Amber Willett, Director of Marketing. Stick around, we have a fantastic conversation coming up. Are here with Chip Bacciocco, CEO of Trusted Choice, joining us live in the Bold Penguin Lounge. Hi, Chip.
Hi, Amber. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I feel like we're all sort of acclimating to first in-person conference for a lot of us in a while, so appreciate you jumping into the Lion's Den here with live TV.
Absolutely. I think this is my fourth ITC. I think I was at the first one or second one. It has gotten amazingly big and exciting, and glad to be back in person with real people.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yes.
I usually do these on Zoom, so it is such a treat to have live humans on the other side here.
Yes.
Thrilled to get started.
Old school.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Love it. All right, first category today is Hot Topic.
Okay.
And the topic today is relationships in the age of COVID. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this because you shared kind of a memorable story a few times of how you inadvertently misunderstood relationships as sort of this technical process, especially given kind of the sales lens, and had to sort of learn that early on in your career.
Yes.
So now, given your role as someone who's been helping lead the industry into the digital age, what's the right take on digital and data platforms as both facilitators and disruptors of relationship building between agents and carriers, agents and customers and brands?
So you had to bring up the embarrassing story. Yes. You can look it up out there if you want. I was very confused about the value of a relationship early in my career in a sales mode. And obviously, insurance, and I've said this in many different settings, is really dependent on a trust relationship. There's a lot of, obviously, technical points to it that are always important to meet, but by themselves, that isn't usually what tips a customer into a buying decision or a renewing decision. It's the trust in the provider, because at the end of the day, you need that product to live up to. It's more complicated than you know, and so trust always plays a factor. Since we're digital now, and COVID has clearly accelerated everything about how you buy everything, right? I can't think of anything in my household anymore we don't buy online. We really don't need to go to a real store anymore. And the same thing is true of insurance, so everyone's getting used to that fact. The challenge is that trust is still an important factor in the purchase of an insurance product. So the way I like to think of it is, COVID and everything we do digitally has changed the game in terms of scale and reach. So I always try to teach agents and make them think about that. Don't think of digital as a substitution in any way for the human care and authenticity that you need in a trustful relationship. However, it does mean you can scale and extend the reach of your relationships much faster and much farther. The bad part of that they need to be aware of is so can all their competitors. And so now you're looking at a space that's much more fractured and fragile than it used to be in terms of those relationships. Like, how much can I depend my customers to renew? Well, not a whole lot. Not anymore. I mean, in the sense that if you're not really still living off of a trust relationship with your customer, somebody else is going to be in there out emailing you for sure, or whatever it is. So what I'm trying to coach a lot of people in the COVID era, a lot of agents, is find ways to bring you authentically to your customers, but digitally.
I love the focus on combining digital and the tools, the tech tools available with that human touch. Here at Bold Penguin, it's very similar in that we've got the tools, the platform, the tech, but we also have a huge customer success team that's talking to the small businesses and connecting them literally on the phone with a warm transfer.
Yep.
So it's not about replacing the human, and I think you also touched on the tipping point, which I think is a great point to call out too, in that, you can grab the attention, you can help facilitate the process with the tech, but that human, that trust, that relationship is often the tipping point for both that new business and then closing that renewal. Fantastic. Which is a great segue to our next segment, which is questions from the crowd, or we get your reaction to a quote from someone else in the industry.
Okay.
And today's quote is actually a meme that I will do my best to represent. This is from Bradley Flowers.
I know Bradley, yep.
The quote is, every InsurTech carrier 1 to 2 years of launch. We only sell direct to consumers, so we don't have to pay commission to agents. Every InsurTech carrier 3 years later. Hey agents. So what are some of the ways agents have changed their businesses to make insurance more valuable, more relevant, and more beneficially intermediated for consumers?
So I think I know the meme you're talking about, and I know Bradley and his sense of humor, and we're not going to mention any companies that are in that scenario, right? But we know some that have. So I think they were all fairly warned, by the way, that they were going to encounter the problems that they did by going direct. So they have shockingly discovered that their acquisition costs are higher than they hoped, even though they were going to disintermediate the agents and go direct, blah, blah, blah. But they realized their acquisition costs in reality are higher. Their retention rate is much lower than they wanted because they don't have that solid retention trust thing going on we talked about. And of course, they're running into all kinds of, well, I'm not sure about this, but I suspect they're running into all kinds of adverse risk selection type problems. So again, this was shared 30 years ago when my career first started. They bumbled into it. And so why are they, the good news again for agents, and you're right, it is a good segue, is agents bring a very predictable cost of acquisition. They bring an excellent retention rate because they have those relationships, even if they're digital now. And obviously they have the same interest as the companies in avoiding any adverse risk selection. So I salute Bradley for his meme. I will, if I find it, I will reshare it through Trusted Choice. We totally agree. That's the beauty of our IA channel model. It's going to keep on being good for everybody that wants to actually market and sell a good insurance product. Come to the IA channel. Independent agents are here to help you, even in the digital age.
And I think it's easy to focus on new business as a growth metric, but it doesn't matter how much you're bringing in if you're losing them out the back door.
That's the key. So yeah, you're right, you're totally right about that. So a lot of times people don't talk about the economics of an insurance transaction. Even, I don't care if it's through an agent or any other way. Generally speaking, the cost of acquisition kind of blows your whole first year economics. So you need to keep an insurance customer for somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 years at least, and then you're really in a nice profit margin. That's been true in the insurance space for, I don't even know, 50 years probably.
Love it. And to close it out, we have our last category, which is questions from the crowd, where we source questions in advance from our BPTV audience.
All right.
And today's question is, you must see a pretty wide range of agency operations. Can you share any insights into what high growth agencies are doing? What are less successful agencies missing?
The ones that are doing well are the ones that are finding a way to be accessible in sort of internet time, online, easily found, easily understood, easily approached, and then they're being very careful to be digitally responsive. So that means every phone call is answered by a human, because the whole advantage of having an agent is you get to talk to a human. So no phone trees, email responses have to be fast. You should have a pool. If they want to text you, there should be a pool in the office. Hey, somebody just texted with a question. Who can handle it right now? There's lots of tools in the offices. I don't want to go into any names right now, but there's lots of good tools, easily researched. This can all be done. That's what they got to do.
Yeah, it really comes down to meeting, exceeding customer expectations, and you're competing against the expectations set by other industries. So if you're hitting the snooze button,
yeah,
good
well
luck.
said. Exactly. Absolutely. No, that's the key. Be accessible, be responsive, internet time. Pretend you're at the Amazon.com of insurance, with love, right? With care.
Yes.
You care about your customers. Yep.
Absolutely.
The human element.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat today.
You bet.
A fabulous crowd here, great energy here at InsurTech Connect. It's great to connect in person. Fantastic conversation. Really appreciate your time. And if you're watching, make sure to follow Bold Penguin's LinkedIn page. We'll be coming to you live from InsurTech Connect the next couple of days, and you don't want to miss the conversations. Thanks, Chip.
Thank you, Amber.